Ladies and gentlemen, thrilled and honored for you all to be here. This is the day trading room at Real Life Trading. This is the free week, the open house week. There's so much I want to cover and talk about and help you with and help you prepare for. The very first thing I'm going to do is just say thank you for all being here. Our mission is to enrich lives, and we do that by helping everyone from all around the world understand the stock market, understand how it works, and how to use it, trade it, and create cash flow from it as frequently as possible. So I'm really thrilled that you're all here, and I hope that we can all learn an immense amount together. My second goal is to show everyone the strategy, the day trading strategy that we're all going to follow as a team at Real Life Trading, not only for today, but for this entire week. And not only for this entire week, but for the rest of the month. And not only for the rest of the month, but for the entire year. This is something that I've been afraid of for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why I've been afraid of it, why I've been afraid about doing it. Maybe I was afraid that people would be bored, or I wouldn't be as entertaining, or wouldn't be as sexy or as cool as possible. I'm not entirely sure. But what I can do is say this. We're going to have one strategy that we're going to follow together as a team. We're going to trade that strategy as a team. We're going to do our absolute best to make money with that strategy as a team. And it's a really amazing, cohesive direction, a focus, something that's wonderful, and something that's really, really simplistic. So type in a 2 if you're intrigued about learning a little bit more about this strategy. Momo Mini says, good morning to you guys in the US. I'm in Morocco. Marrakesh, Morocco. That's awesome. That's really cool. Okay, getting a bunch of 2s. Fantastic. So here's the strategy. This is going to be called the 10 EMA official day trading strategy. So we are watching these stocks. Now, I'm happy to, before the market opens on some days, go through other stocks and just show you guys what they're going to be doing. But as far as ones that I will be trading myself, this is the strategy that I will be following and I'll be focusing on primarily. So prep chart setup. I'm going to be drawing some green lines. And again, you can have your trading view do this for you, but I figure I might as well do something. I might as well actually do something instead of just having, it takes all the fun away if I'm not doing anything. So I'm drawing green lines for prior high and prior low of day. And I'll be including daily moving averages if they are close, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200. So you'll see me do that a few times. B, I'm going to have a 3-minute chart, multi-chart setting with one extended hours and the other non-extended hours. I'm going to have the 10 EMA indicator on the chart, which is just one moving average, 10 exponential moving average. And all we're looking for is bull candle to close above. Bear candle to close above the 10 EMA, or bull candle to close below the 10 EMA. We need it to set up on both time frames, and then we take the breakout. That's it. So we will be able to provide you this PDF. Don't worry. So if you're like, I want this PDF, we will give it to you for free. It's being a loyal member and customer and subscriber and follower for Real Life Trading. So you'll get access to this. So let's go ahead and just show you what it is that we're looking at. And this is going to be a very, very interesting day. And I'm going to keep that PDF up at all times today so that you guys will be able to reference it. But there is a lot of gaps that are happening presently. And it's going to be a really, really interesting day because everything is gapping down hugely. Huge, huge, huge gap downs. And if you're wondering, am I a little upset that I exited all of my put options last week? The answer is yes, I am a little bit upset. However, I guess the best news that I can possibly think of is that at least I did follow my plan in exiting those put options. That's the most positive part of that. It's like, well, at least I did follow my plan. Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at this Tesla chart, right? Tesla's gapping down huge. The market is gapping down massive. So when you have huge, huge, huge gap down days like this, they are going to be a little funky. That's just the way it works. And there is a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of fear, and rightfully so. I mean, this is a little scary. It's a little scary. So when you're talking about Tesla down a bunch, I mean, the Qs, the market, Zoom's down like 70%, Peloton's down like 83%. A lot of fear out there. So what we're going to do is hopefully avoid all that by having a plan, being calm, being patient, waiting it out. Looking forward to it. Okay. Let me minimize this for 1 second. So the very first step in this piece is creating and drawing your prior high and prior low of the day, which will really be pretty easy here on Tesla. And I don't know if it's going to be even remotely intriguing or not because they're so far away. But here's the prior low of the day. Prior low of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is 940.50. So we're obviously gapping well below that. 940.50. And the prior high of day on Tesla is 1004.55. So there's my two green lines. What you'll notice, all these purple lines, I can get rid of this one. That's too far away. I can get rid of this one. I can get rid of this one. I can get rid of this one. 100 on the daily, I can get rid of that one. Move that up a little bit to there. So what I'm going to look for now, my friends, is I'm just going to go to a weekly chart. I'm going to go to a weekly chart and see if I can find some moving average on the weekly that we might pause at even for a second. Okay, so here's the weekly time frame. And I'm going to pull up the 10, the 20, and the 50 exponential moving average. And I'm just going to draw those on the screen to just kind of find out where the heck they might stop, right? Where we might go down. So I'm going to draw one support line, a support resistance here. And the reason I'm drawing that line there, ladies and gentlemen, is just because the prior resistance, again, this is the weekly time frame. I'm looking at the resistance here, and I'm going to go, okay, well, we have some support down here, but there's really not much. There's one little support, and then you got the 50 EMA on the weekly. All the way down here. 50 EMA on weekly. That's it. So pretty far down there. Monthly. Okay, so I'm looking at I'm having to go to the monthly just to see if there's anything there. And we do have the 10 EMA on the monthly. I generally almost never have to go out to the monthly chart, ladies and gentlemen. But since the market is so low and there's so much just getting absolutely squash-buckled, I figured we should pull up the monthly chart just to see where things are. So 875.56, I'm drawing a purple line there just to let me know there is some support there. There is some semblance of a level where we might be able to buy. And that's kind of where we're at. So those are my lines on Tesla. I've drawn the low of the day, the high of the day. I've drawn some moving averages with purple lines. Now, if we come back to our PDF, okay, here's the PDF. Conditions. The best time for the strategy is after the first hour of market open. That is true. Right? It's the best time for the strategy is after an hour after market open. The strategy works really, really well an hour after market open. All right. So number two, sorry, not number two. Rule number one, under conditions. Did the stock gap above the prior high of day or prior low of day? Yes, go to rule number 5. So again, if you're listening or watching this, feel free to take a screenshot of this because we're going to be using it for a very long time. So prior low of day. So ladies and gentlemen, yes or no, did Tesla gap below the prior low of day? Yes, it did. Right? Okay, so cool. So now we get to go to rule number 5. Using a 3-minute chart for entries, bearish strategy, bull candle closing below 10 EMA on both extended and non. Bull strategy, bear candle closing above 10 EMA on both extended and non-extended op. Long above that candle, stop below. So if you need a copy of this, if you log into your real life trading website, you should have a 10 EMA icon on your dashboard so that you can download this PDF. If you would like to have it in your disposal and you can print it out and use it for the week, it's under the free resources. So just a little FYI there. And that's it, guys. I mean, this is it. Using the 3-minute chart. So we're going to look for either a bear strategy or bull strategy. We can trade either one. Doesn't matter. We can trade either one. Probably going to look for a little bit more bull trades than bear trades, honestly, today, with as extended as we are. I could easily see myself waiting a good hour to trade anything today and then go live, take a bullish trade an hour or so after market open. We'll see. We will see. All right. Next on the list is AMD to draw our lines out. AMD, I'm going to draw the low and the high of the day with the green lines. Take this off, take these purple lines off the table for a second. Okay, so prior high of day on AMD is 125.02, 125.02. And again, I could have TradingView do this for me automatically. I just figured I want something to do manually. Okay, so there's these two green lines. It's the high of the day and the low of the day. Are we gapping below the prior low of the day? The answer is absolutely. So we would be able to trade AMD within the first few minutes of the market open. Now, what I'm going to do is, again, the daily moving averages, ladies and gentlemen, we are so far away from those. We are really, really far. I'm going to go pull up the daily 100 and 200 to see if there's anything there. And the daily 200 on AMD is 108.52. So I'm going to draw a purple line there, just kind of signifying and showing that we are where that is located. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to go to the weekly chart just to see if there's anything in the way on the weekly. And you got the 50 EMA on the weekly is at 110.69. Again, just drawing these lines. Maybe markets get down there today. I don't know. Maybe we end up buying it off of support. We'll see. There we go. We got the 50 and the 100. Wow, we're below the 10 EMA on the monthly. And I almost never have to look at the monthly for a day trade. But this is a very special market right now, my friends. Very special. Really, really wild. A lot of craziness happening. Look at this evening star reversal on AMD on the monthly. Wow. Okay, weekly and then back to daily. Got it. All right, so we have our main moving averages drawn, and we were gapping down into the middle of no man's land. All right, Roblox. So the only line I can draw on Roblox, and we trade Roblox a lot. The only line I can trade on this thing is the prior IPO low at 62. I mean, that's really it. So Roblox is getting blocked, just paper shredded. When that hammer got taken out on January 12th, that was it. That was game over on Roblox. So if I'm drawing the low and the high, here we go. All I'm going to do again, just creating a green line to draw the prior low and the prior high. Prior low of day, 68.33. This is just, again, showing us if the stock is indeed above, gapping above or below. Kind of helps us see it. Previous high of the day is 74.92. Go a little bit faster on the next one, Nvidia. I'm start to speed up some. Nvidia. This is the 200 simple on the daily, 200 SMA on daily. Is it 220.36? Wow. We are getting very close to that. One of the main reasons why I'm probably going to be a little bit slower today than a lot of you might want me to be, unfortunately, is the stocks and all these gaps are already down significantly. We're already down 4% on Nvidia as an example. Like that's huge. 4% is no joke. So this is going to be a day that we're going to have to be a little patient for sure. But I'm very, very excited for an opportunity later in the afternoon. If either I get it or one of the other amazing moderators like Robert Falco is going to come on after me. So if you're not already short, you have you're not only have you missed the boat, but like the boat is already giving out free margaritas to people on the boat. So you missed margaritas and the boat. So a lot of it right now is me kind of waiting that out and seeing what's going to happen and finding out what we get. Apple. So this has been on my Apple chart for the last 2 weeks. So this is a head and shoulders pattern now on Apple. And obviously, Apple, one of the stronger stocks out there, hasn't even hit the 100 yet. Biggest company in the world, one of the most profitable companies in the world. It's got a ways to go. Lisa Martin says, "What's up, Jeremy? What is up, Lisa Martin? Been a bit. Hope you're doing incredible. So glad you're here." All right. 166.33. Jenny says, "Good morning." Good morning, Jenny. 166.33. Low of the day, 162.30. Wendy Sanchez says, "Good morning. What's up, Sanchez? Hope you're doing fantastic." And then last but not least is Delta Airlines. I think I can take most of these off the list now. Delta's kind of below everything, essentially. What was interesting or slightly is interesting is the 100 simple on the weekly is 37.39. So again, I almost never have to use the weekly charts for a day trade, but here we are using them. And the 100 simple on the weekly, 37.39. Delta is gapping below its low of day and below that level. Pretty strong gap on Delta. But again, keep this in mind, friends, as bearish as I am on the market, and I have been bearish for a while. Been bearish, very strongly bearish for a bit. 2 weeks, actually. 2 weeks. I think you guys all saw that video, right? You all subscribed to my YouTube channel, so you all saw the video. So been pretty bearish. I don't know if this is the best day to go short, though, is all I'm saying. So now we have 12 minutes left until market open. What I'm going to do is pop into a 5-minute chart and just kind of look at what's going on. I'm going to turn the extended hours on, and I'm just getting an idea of what's happening. So this is Delta, and you can see Delta has gotten just cheese shredded. Most likely, with as down as we are right now, one of two things will happen in the market. I'm going to go look at the cues to kind of give you guys an idea of my overall thoughts. One of two things are going to happen here. Thing number one, we spike down really quick. Maybe not that far. Hold on, that's a little too far. We have a lot of fear. We spike down really fast, and then we slowly chop around all day. And towards the end of the day, we get some buying, and it's going to be a really, really gross, ugly day to trade. That's option number one. That's very likely. Option number two, we get some immediate buying out the gate. We run up a little bit. We slowly kind of fade back down, chop around a little bit, and then we close something like that with a super small bull candle towards the end of the day. That's option two. That's a little bit more like that. That's also quite likely. So we get to see. We'll find out. But one of those two scenarios is really all we're going to get right now. Falco says we blow people out to the downside, then rally for a couple of days and roll over again. It's my theory. Oh, we'll find out, my man. We will find out. Huh, interesting. That was really weird. Okay. So let's see. I mean, here's the SPY. SPY, right? Down pretty dramatically. I mean, the SPY, if I'm going to look at the daily chart, SPY is gapping down 1.5%. So if you guys want me to look at some additional gaps right now, I can. Again, I will not be trading them. Kohl's, huge gap up. Huge gap up. This looks like a buyout from somebody. Who's buying out Kohl's? Oh, a private equity company. Okay, cool. So Kohl's getting bought out by a private equity company. Congratulations for anyone who's in Kohl's. They finally are getting bought out. Good for them. And if you're a shareholder in Kohl's, congrats. I'm not. I don't have any position in this one, but it's a buyout, so it probably won't move very much. Kind of like Activision Blizzard. Still going down, though, which is pretty weird. Activision's supposed to be getting bought out by Microsoft. But maybe not. All right. We can certainly go look for gap ups just to see them again. I won't personally be trading any. Not much for not much love for Activision at all. I agree. Vodafone, Fox, IMP, Comcast. It's looking ugly. Josh says, what are your thoughts on Amazon? Amazon is ugly, dude. So by the way, this is my overall thoughts on just the broader market. So you guys will have it. If I zoom out, where's my actual, oh, here's my note. So this is the analysis that I did on Saturday night. So the move we're in right now is a wave 3 of 3 bearish. So if you guys know anything about Elliott waves, this is a 3 of 3. Pullbacks will be weak and small. Wave 4 coming. Be patient, relax, and be short. So we are going to go lower. I posted that also on Twitter over the weekend. We're going to be going lower. And I took a few nibbles pre-market on the Qs just because it, again, seems very, very weak. A lot of weakness out there. Again, I'm not saying the world's going to end, but it's going to feel like it will for the next few days. Home Depot, I did not get a chance to short this, unfortunately. I wanted to short it at 380, never got the chance. It took out that small hammer candle immediately and just got absolutely train wrecked. It's gapping below the 200. First time for Home Depot's at the 200 since COVID. Sorry, not COVID. I apologize. March last year. It's down a lot, but this is, I would argue this is almost a perfect double top. A lot of you are probably familiar with that chart pattern. So if you're looking at buying Home Depot, again, small size here. I could, or I would. I'm not personally going to be buying that. I'm going to be waiting it out, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. David says, I completed the passive income course last week. Nice job, man. Great course. Nice, bro. I love it. Thanks for the message. I appreciate it. Lorenzo says SQQQ. So SQQ is up because the Qs are down. That's essentially it, right? So this is up because Qs are down. So this is definitely gapping up. If you are unable to trade bearish, right? Unable to trade bearish because you have an IRA or you don't know anything about put options or you're not able to short because you don't know how or whatever the case might be. This is something that you could go long on. Again, personally, I think we're going to get some fear out the gate at open. Going to get a little bit of fear. And then after that fear, we eventually chill out, hang out, and then go a little bit higher later in the afternoon and retrace. I think the market does need a little bit of a retracement. The market needs a little bit of a retracement. And I definitely will be looking at crypto a little bit later. Yes, I would love to share my thoughts and opinions on the crypto market for everyone who's here. That is a true story. I know you guys have questions about that, so I will be discussing it. All right, we have 4 minutes until market opens. Any questions? Anything you guys have thoughts on? Let me know. Minimize that for a second. Apple gapping below. Missions Local 01 says Cabot selling puts. Tony says, hey, Jeremy, I'm trying out the day trading room. Nice. Appreciate you letting me know. Minman says, where do you find the updated 10 EMA strategy? It actually should be on your dashboard, I believe. Good morning, Simon. Thanks for being here. It should be on your dashboard. So if you log in, I can't log in through Brave. Did you know that, Matt, that the Brave browser does not work on our site for some reason? I know you're a huge fan of Brave browsers. All right. So this is where you will find your TNEMA. Go under free resources right here. Right there. So if you guys are looking for that PDF that I was talking about, here it is. RL TNEMA strategy. It's going to be really, really exciting. Also, while we're here on the website, if anyone is interested, I would love to trade with you in Atlanta. So if you are in Atlanta or you want to travel to Atlanta, we're going to be there for an advanced trading retreat February 20th through the 23rd. It's going to be myself and about 17 other people. So nice, small, intimate setting. If you're interested in that, make sure you pop over to reallifetrading.com. RSVP. It's going to be dope. I'll put the sign up in the chat pane. If you guys want to hop in. It will be amazing, Josh Banner. This is a true story. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay. All right, 90 seconds until market open. You guys know how to access the PDF. And I am able to trade, but we have to wait at least 3 minutes to see if we get any bull candles close below. Everything is down tons. So I want all of you to remind me to be as patient as possible. That's what I want you to do. Just remind me, Newsom, be as patient as possible. Gabriel says, should I buy Tesla for a longer term hold at open or wait for a drop farther down? Well, earnings is this week, Simon. So I do love Tesla long term. I'm a fan. I agree. It is at a support. If you want to buy it longer term, I think you can buy it lower than it is now. Is going to be my answer. So have a little bit of a pyramid going on. Maybe buy a few shares here, a few shares here. But have some good till cancel orders open just in case. Yeah. I do think Tesla can go a little bit lower. Earnings are next week. Peloton. Or Peloton. Trying to catch a break. Can't catch a break. But yeah, at this point, guys, everything is opening below our pre-market lows. So I'm going to be as patient as I can today and just wait for a really good setup because every single thing is down. Tony says, what's your thoughts on PayPal? I do like PayPal long term. It is gapping into my final pyramid, which is 155.26. So this is the last area that I'm buying some shares of PayPal, 155.26, which is the 200 simple on the weekly, down 50%, biggest drop in PayPal's history. This is a company that I think will be okay. I think we all know how PayPal makes money. We all use them, understand them, like them, all that kind of good stuff. But man, the Qs, let's just pop in here to 3 minutes. I'm just going to watch the carnage that's likely to ensue. Because again, for us to do anything bearish, we have to get a bull candle first. Right? I kind of talked about that. We have to get a bull candle first before I can do anything. If we're going to short, we're going to be very, very patient on a short. I'd prefer, again, longs, honestly, just because we're so far down. We're so far down on everything. I want to be extremely patient on a bearish trade, and I want to look for most likely Very, very quick longs, but I definitely don't have to trade anything. I can be as patient as I want. Yeah, Qs, man. Down to Chinatown. These things are low. All right. So again, the reason I'm looking at the daily is just to see where all these things opened, and they're all going to be quite far. So here's the 3-minute candle on Tesla, and I'll be walking everyone through in fine detail the 10 EMA strategy today and all of this week. So there will be plenty of opportunities to learn. Remember, this is the free open house week here at RLT. But just to give you an idea on Tesla right now, I won't be able to go long. This candle would have to close bearish, and it would have to be above both moving averages, both this 10 EMA and this 10 EMA. So that's going to be a while before that happens. So right now, what's happening on Tesla is short covering, right? All the shorts that were in are covering they're covering for a profit. Lisa says, "Are you doing the whole week?" I think I'm doing every day other than Friday in the morning room. But I'll be somewhere around Friday. But I'll be here. I'm always here a decent portion of the time. Yeah, I'm here a lot. All right. Also, super fast update. Fortinet, ticker symbol FTNT. This did just hit our swing trade target, which is exciting. Now, I know most of you in here probably aren't in this because we set this up a week ago. FTNT swing trade just hit our target. Now, I can show you why we got into this trade. So if we're looking at the 10 EMA, if I just back up really quick, these are some bull candles closing below the 10. Let me pull the 10 EMA up. I'm just going to walk you guys through why we took this trade short. As soon as TradingView loads, it just has to load one moving average. There we go. All right, type in 9 into the chat page if you guys see that is a bull candle closing below the 10 EMA, which is this red line. Okay, so we got a bunch of 9s. I'm going to wait for a few more because we have a lot of people here. So remember, my goal is to not only make money, but also to educate. It's really easy for me to trade and make money, so I want to make sure that you guys get this as well. That's why we're here. It's our mission. Okay, so that is a bull candle closing below the 10. So is this one. So is this one. So is this one. So is this one. All 4 of those closed below the 10. Now, I did not see this trade on that day. I saw this trade on this day right here. This is the day that I saw it. Big bear candle closing below this bull candle. So what you'll notice is my setup on this trade was I shorted the low of that bull candle on a retest. You guys see that? I'm gonna pause here for just a quick, any questions you guys have. Again, this is a profitable swing trade that we got into, and we just got out at market open for a really nice gain. That's why I'm walking you through this trade. And we're gonna go look at 1 or 2 others as well. It's always good to exit trades profitably. Nope, you guys are good? Okay. So we did a limit sell. Ozzy says, where's the retest? Hadn't happened yet. So here's the next day. Right, next day. And this is the day that we got filled right here. So there's the retest. We got filled right there. Tony says bearish limit sell triggers when the price rises. That is correct. Next day comes into the market, a little bit of an upper shadow. So we're still in the trade. Next day, another bear candle, another upper shadow. What you should be able to feel, ladies and gentlemen, and this is something I would really, really love for all of you guys to practice more and more, is just noticing and feeling the sentiment, the compression here on these candles. Type a 7 into the chat pane if you can clearly almost feel this compression coming in here. Throw in some 7s because you'll be able to notice, I think, quite easily the lows, right? Low, 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 all the same lows, but we're making lower highs. Same lows, lower highs. 10 EMA is sloping down. We're into the trade. So could you, I don't know, add to a trade if it breaks below here? Could you add an additional R if you wanted to? Sure, you could. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying you could. Or if we break lower, could we lower our stop loss? And the answer is absolutely. So here's the next day. Really, really nice trade. Great breakdown, great level. And then we opened today at our target. That's it. So this is present day on FTNT. I can't go forward in time anymore. And again, I wish I could. I apologize. It would be one of the greatest things in my life to invent a time machine that I could use to make every single person here a billionaire. I would do it. I promise. If anyone out there is working on a time machine, let me know. Just get that thing built already. Stop waiting. Stop taking forever. All right. So I'm going to look at that in the afternoon room as well, which is Monday. Okay, I'm add that to the afternoon room. Now we have one other swing trade that we are also in. This is Dave and Buster's. Now, Dave and Buster's is a little bit easier to spot. Type a 6 into the chat pane if you can see that this is a bull candle closing below the 10 EMA. This is a really easy one to see. Stafford, I will look at Netflix next. Simon says, when swing trading short, are you always using options or also shares? I actually generally use shares, Simon. I only use options when the trend and everything is so clearly defined, so obvious, and so simple that it has to go in that direction almost. Like the probabilities are so high. So, yep. So this one triggered in, and this is where we are present day, right? At gap down. At open, we were up almost an R. Really a target on Dave and Buster's, I think, would probably be 30. So what I'm going to do right now is actually decide if I should stay in this trade or if we should just take a small profit. And I'm going to do that by looking at other time frames. Let me pull up the weekly chart on Dave and Buster's. Okay, weekly charts, we are below that moving average. We're below the weekly moving averages. We're below the 200, so the target would probably be here. Let's go look at the monthly really quick. Monthly, I'm just looking at the moving averages to see if there's any kind of like resistance or support in the way that I'm not aware of. We're below the monthly moving averages on the 10, 20, and 50. I don't think we have a 100, 200 yet. Nope. So overall, I think we probably should stay in this trade. What I'm getting. Our stop is still pretty far away, and our target's pretty far away. We might even be able to add retest, but that is a swing trade that we are presently profitable on. Okay. Netflix. Stafford was asking my thoughts on Netflix. Netflix is a damaged chart right now, brother. I'm not entirely sure what the heck it's going to do, but I'd probably look to go long today. Again, I'm not very bearish after all of this bearishness in the market today. You know, I mean, market's extremely bearish, but it's already been so bearish. I'd probably be looking for longs. Just make sure you're looking for longs in all the right places. Don't look for them in all the wrong places, though. I don't actually know what that means, so just no clue what that actually means. Okay. Yeah, Netflix. I mean, again, if I'm day trading it or looking at it very short term, I'm probably a little bit bullish, Stafford. Man, this is one damaged chart, dude. This is a huge gap. Like, let me make this chart a little bit bigger for everyone, and let's just look at this thing on the daily. I mean, it gaps this earnings gap below like 3 years worth of data. That is a lot. Whew, that is so much. I mean, you're down below all moving averages. So, yeah, long story short, I mean, again, if you're going to play Netflix bullish, be very quick with it. Otherwise, just look to short because that's going to be the trend. I think it's going to go a little bit lower. Yeah, I have no position in it right now, but it's a very scary gap, and I think it can absolutely go lower. Okay, so I'm gonna pop back into our day trade journal, day trade list. The reason I'm not taking trades right now is kind of similar to what I said earlier. I think we're extremely, extremely extended on most things, and and just I've practiced this strategy so much that I know that we need closes below both time frames. It's going to take a while. So, as an example, could we have taken the TDMA bearish below this candle right here? The answer is you could have for sure, and it would have worked. However, it did not close below this time frame as well, right? Because I'm looking for it to close a bull candle to close below both moving averages on both time frames. Does that make sense? So even though yes, I am bearish and yes, I expect it to go lower, I can't take this trade because it did not close below both moving averages on the extended and non-extended time frames. I think Tesla can go lower. I think it will go lower. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we will watch it. We'll see what it does. Here's AMD. Right, same thing with AMD. We got the bull candle already taken out that low. So this is gonna be the pain that's coming in. It's the pain I was referring to early in the morning. Like you're gonna get some of the fear early morning, like quick buying, some nice selling, some fear, some panic, and then we get potentially a bounce in the afternoon. So yes, I'm being as patient as I can. Actually, nothing is set up in our signal yet at all. Michael says, what was the second time frame besides the 10 EMA on the 3-minute? They're both 3 minutes, brother. Great question. These are both 3-minute. One, you'll notice, is obviously the extended hours, and the other one is not. All right. Nvidia. So again, we haven't had any signal on Nvidia yet. We have had no bull candle close below both moving averages on the extended and non-extended. We also haven't had a bull candle or a bear candle close above either one as well. I do think we're going to go lower. I'm fully aware of that. I'm kind of expecting that. I'm just being as patient as I can. I don't have to take a trade today. I'm actually already doing pretty okay for January for the most part, relatively speaking. Relatively okay, just because there was a lot of bearishness and I was really prepared well for it, I feel like. All right. And then we have Apple. Again, Apple also, we haven't gotten a close above both or below both yet. And Delta, same thing on Delta. And the Qs, I'm just watching them, but yeah, there's some selling on the Qs. Very bearish overall. And the SPY, which, guys, this is good. The market really, really needed some actual pullback. I'm very happy that we're getting it. Andrew, yep, I've already did that before market open. Is I drew my lines and other moving averages already on all the stocks we're going to day trade. But on a smaller intraday level on a 3-minute chart, no, just use this moving average. But like on a bigger time frame, like a daily or weekly, yes, we'll definitely look at other moving averages and kind of draw them and see what's up. Sweet. Good question. VIX is at 33. Nice. Okay. So my option sellers are about to start having some fun. The VIX is up. So the VIX is the volatility index. And nice. Yeah, we are getting a little bit of a spike. So the options are going to start going up in value, meaning they're going to be more expensive. Michael says, just curious, besides obviously that it changes the pattern of the EMA by including or excluding after hours, is there a definite reason to look at it with and without after hours on? You're exactly right for that reason, because it does change with the after hours market and the after hours movement. And it gives you a very clear, very definitive, and very specific, did this strategy play out? Yes or no? Did this level play out? Stafford says, what are your favorite inverse ETFs? SQQQ, SDS, DXD, and UVXY. Those are my 4 favorite inverse ETFs. They all suck. They all are designed to go lower essentially permanently. But for very, very quick moves, if you're trying to buy these, they do all have good volume and you can buy them and they go up if the market goes down. That's a true statement. Robert says, do not use options on them, however. I would agree with that. I would agree. Don't use options. Just trade just the shares. All right, team. So again, we're getting a dramatic sell-off. We kind of knew that was going to happen. We talked about it. We are getting it. Tesla is going lower. Essentially, like I said, figured that would be the case. So we're waiting, being as patient as we can to either get a good signal. Again, if you're buying any Tesla down here, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. But again, if you are buying, just buy very, very small size, tiny size, because the trend right now is bearish. So if you're buying into a bear trend, you need to be really, really patient. All right, Delta. So again, Delta, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Give me 1 second. So Delta, you do have tons and tons of bear candles in a row on the daily chart. However, we did get a slight bull volume on this doji candle. My job right now, I think today, is to be a little bit more patient than aggressive, just because the markets are down so much. So I could short here with a stop there. This candle, I don't think, is bullish enough for me to really get in below that. I'm not saying you can't trade it. If you're going to be a robot, you want to get in below there, stop right there, target right there, makes sense. It would match the strategy. Although this candle is not quite bullish enough for me. And again, Delta is down. The markets are down a lot. So I'm just trying to be very, very patient on a short. The swings, if you were in a swing trade short, those are working great. If you had something overnight, those are working great. On a day trade, again, we can go lower. I just want a little bit more info. Because one thing I don't want to do, and again, this is just the experience part talking, right? If you're looking at the Qs, you're saying right now, well, Newsom, here we go. This is it, baby. There's your bull candle. I can't disagree with that. Totally agree. Challenge is with getting in right there with a stop right there, and you could scalp this move. I think the scalp would make sense. The challenge with this particular setup is just you're down so far. All right, the Qs are down about 15.5% at this point in the last 2 weeks. You're just slightly chasing. And if you're wondering, well, dude, this is all subjective. I did put this in our trade management for us, so that you can kind of keep an eye on that. So I kind of put this in here so that we can watch it, right? So for example, D, prep chart setup. If there are 3+ bear candles, bull candles in a row on the daily, be much quicker with your exits or more patient on your entries. Trends usually change and shift after 3 candles in a row. Now, if I was about to say, I don't think it's going to happen. But if we can trade sideways for 15, 20 minutes when we break down, that'd be nice. And again, I'm not saying this trade won't work. You could do it with very, very small size, but just if you get in and you're scalping it, get in and get out kind of quickly. Trade setup is there. Strategy looks great. It meets all the criteria. Just be in and be out fast. Be in and be out fast. Because if I go back to the daily, here's the daily chart. All right, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th bear candle in a row. And in just the last 6, 7 days, we're down 12% on the broader markets. Right, not like a random stock, not Peloton, but like the actual markets were down 12% in the last 6 days. That's a lot. So Stafford, never heard of them. Oxy says, what's the outlook on SPY in the short term? Outlook on SPY is so broader market. It's a great question. I mean, my outlook on just the market in general is short rips right now. So if and when we get some retests, get in bearish. We're going to go a little bit lower. There's nothing really stopping us. We're gapping down the weekly. We're below the 50 on the weekly now. So I do think we can, and we likely will retest at some point, especially since we have a shaved bottom candle on the SPY. Almost a perfect shaved bottom candle too. 3 pennies away from absolute sheer perfection. So we probably retest, and that's going to be a shorting opportunity when we retest. All right. Good job, Maloney. Maloney went bearish on Tesla at 880. Great job, Maloney. Awesome work. Fantastic. So Maloney, our resident bear, playing Tesla, making some gains, some silly gains. AMD also breaking down. Again, this is still the 3-minute chart that we're looking at right now. Roblox breaking down. Again, we all know that the markets are going lower right now, except for Apple. Apple's a little bit strong. Delta, again, I have no FOMO at all missing this Delta trade. Entry here, stop here. Right now, I'm just going to recognize the opportunities on the shorts, ladies and gentlemen. I know that I could make money. I know I could scalp. I know it could be very, very quick in and out. But I don't think the risk reward is epic for the shorts. In fact, look at the Qs. That is a very interesting looking hammer. Super interesting, in fact. Oh, sorry, let me mute that really quick. Okay. Tony says Nvidia is on the daily 200. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Crazy town, man. Nvidia on the 200 on the daily. So again, I'm just being that's the reason I'm being careful with the short. I know you guys be like, oh, you're scared. I mean, I'm scared of losing money. You know, I don't love losing money, but I don't want to just throw money out and throw it away either. So this 200 simple, you see this purple line here on your screen. Again, I think this is a really, really interesting location to either be looking for longs or just not shorts. And the longs, it's kind of ironic. They're not going to be very long. If you're going to be going bullish, in and out pretty quickly. Robert says he's starting to go long on the Qs. All right, man. Cool deal. So Robert's going to keep an eye on the Qs to go long with that really nice hammer. Do me a favor, team. Type in a 6 if you at least appreciate not getting trapped on that breakdown. Because again, if you're trading by yourself, you might have shorted it. I don't know. Maybe you did. Maybe you would. Maybe you wouldn't have. Who knows? I definitely did not at all go short there. I promise. Could have, but I just, again, just knowing how weak we are on the bear side, we need some bulls to come in. Nothing can just drop like a stone forever, especially the broader market. Right? The broader market is just not going to just go straight to zero. At least I don't think. Let's slightly hope not. So you're gonna be watching it, see if we get a good setup with our strategy. And since we are learning and we're in learning mode right now, if you had shorted Tesla, would this have been a good spot to cover? And if so, why? And I want a really simple answer. This answer should be really, really simple. 2-3 word answer. Bethune says 5 bearish candles in a row. That's one reason. Ah, nicely done, Christine. Christine noticed the volume spike. I like that. Volume spike, all the bear candles. And there's my boy Chris and Daniel that says new low. That's it. That's the other answer that I was looking for. You guys are all correct, though. Volume spike, 5 bear candles in a row. And you can see here's the pre-market low, and it makes a new low. Cover. Easy. If you're short, buy into weakness. If you're short, buy when it makes new lows. When you draw a stock price on a piece of paper, most people draw it like this. Right? Most people draw a stock price like this. So if you're drawing a stock price, why not sell here, buy here, sell here, buy here? Seems obvious, but same thing when you short, right? If you short here, buy here, short here, buy here. A lot of traders, especially new traders, do the exact opposite. A lot of us, if we're going bullish, you guys ready for this? And type in a 9 if I'm talking to you, because I'm talking to me right now. A lot of us will go bullish here, hold through the retracement, and then sell there for a very small gain. Is that anyone else, or is that just me? Okay, cool. All right, you buy here on the breakout. You hold through the retracement, clenching your teeth the whole time, and then you sell for a super small gain. Or you buy here and then you get stopped out there and then you see it run. The short's the same thing, right? Short high, sell high, buy low. When it makes new low, cover. Take your profit and then protect it. Buy assets with that profit and then go on about your day. Okay, so AMD starting to catch up with itself. Right now, I'm being extremely patient on the bears. I see some setups. Trust me, I see them. I'm just not going to dive into those right now. If we keep going lower, we keep going lower. Right? If we just keep shredding the bulls, we keep shredding some bulls. I'm going to be pretty patient shorting something right now. The reason I'm going to be patient is just because we're down so much. That's really it. Okay. So Kohl's got bought out. Kohl's up 33% on the buyout. Matt DeLong, is that you again? You buying out Kohl's? All right. So team, right now I am waiting as patient as possible, but I am happy to answer any questions you guys have. Market's been open 30 whole minutes. 30 whole minutes. Sweet. All right. Speaking of Bill Ackman, how's Herbalife doing? Herbalife, HLF. So if we're looking at a 10 EMA strategy, let's look at one for the bulls for a quick second. I just pulled up a random stock since Matt was mentioning Bill Ackman. Type a 6 into the chat pane if you can see that this is the very first bear candle that closed above the 10 EMA. Now, this one did as well, right? That one also did, but you can see we literally just went right back below the moving averages. So when this candle closes above the 10 EMA, right, we're going to back up and we're just going to look at it, see what it would have done. If we back up in time, this also works on the swing trade. It's a really, really easy strategy. It's kind of hard to mess this one up. Bear candle closing above the 10 EMA. All I want you to do is type in a T or an F. True or false. This is how the setup should look. Entry here at the green line. Stop loss somewhere over here in the red circle. T or an F. See how many people get this correct. Because ladies and gentlemen, if you can get this correct, you can make a lot of money trading. That's what I'm trying to bring out. If you can get this strategy right, you can make a lot of money trading. It's possible. It's achievable. You can do it. I believe in you. All those fun motivational words. It is T for true. That would have been the setup. That would have been the setup. Because you have a stop loss, right? If it doesn't work, you exit out for a small loss. No big deal. Over here, type a 7 into the chat pane. If you're able to see again, bear candle close above the 10, an entry and a stop loss opportunity for a quick little profit. Where's all my 7s? There's all my 7s. Beautiful. Practice these patterns. When you see them, back trade them for a little bit, burn them into your brain some. So the more you burn them into the brain, the more you see what it looks like, and you just get a good idea of everything. All right. So Tesla is hanging out. Again, for me right now, being pretty patient. This is the 3-minute chart. So we have to wait for a bear. If we're going to go bullish, we have to wait for a bear candle to close above both time frames. AMD, same thing. Roblox, same thing. Nvidia, same thing. Apple, same thing. Delta, same thing. Qs still looks weak. Again, I want a short, but the risk reward's not really that great right now. Risk reward is not spectacular. Rinko says, could you please let us know what are the reasons for you to choose exactly those stocks for the 10 EMA strategy? That's a good question. I mean, essentially, I just want to pick something that has really good volume, that has really good liquidity, that has really good movement, has a good average to range, has good weekly options, and they're companies that everyone's kind of heard of before. That's really it. At some point, you got to pick something. It's like if you're going to go out to eat at a restaurant. Babe, where are we going? Are we going to Cheesecake Factory or are we going to Logan's Roadhouse? Obviously, you should pick Cheesecake Factory, but you got to pull the trigger at some point. Drew says, it seems this pullback is faster than the COVID crash. Oh, no. No. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at the fact that I can't even believe I experienced that and lived. Not even close, bro. Not even in the same ballpark. Not even in the same ballpark. Drew says, wasn't there bull candles in the crash? Yeah, we got some bull candles. We got one here. We got one there. We got one there. We got one there. Again, just as a reminder, this is when I did come out with that video. I told everyone the market's about to crash 10%. You guys all saw that video, right? This candle right here was, I was like, all right, guys, this is it. This is the one. Now, I can say this, Drew. You would be absolutely correct if you said, is this the biggest sell-off since COVID? And the answer is absolutely. This is the biggest, fastest, quickest. This is a legit, actual, like, this is an actual selling event, and it's exciting. We're getting some actual selling here. This is good. But what's really weird is, again, the VIX is only back at where it was in December, and we've gone much lower than that. So that's really surprising to me. Right? The VIX high is the same high right now that it was in December, and the markets are like way different. Fadi says, what signal do you look for to know we're reversing back into the bull market? We have to reclaim the 200. And we got to get back above all moving averages. So, yeah, that's essentially it. Got to get back above the 200 and got to get back above all the moving averages. But we're not in a bear market yet, according to definition, right? Bear markets begin at 30% down. So we're only halfway there. So by like book standards. Cindy says, how close to when you called the last market was changing? Were you traveling international? Cindy, that's a great question. I was actually on the island the day I made that video. The market was about to be so bearish that I ran inside and told everyone that I was on the island with, guys, the market's about to just absolutely go bananas. Make sure everyone is prepared and ready. So yeah, I was in the British Virgin Islands on that day. Robert says he texted me and Jason to make sure that video went out tonight. Yeah, man. And I appreciate you helping on that, by the way. But yeah, dude, it was that was it. That was a big one. And there's gonna be a lot of fear that's gonna be coming out. And I don't necessarily think that we're at the bottom. I think we can easily go lower. I'm being very, very patient on a bearish day trade, although that is absolutely the trend. Right? It's absolutely the trend is bearish. I'm just being extremely patient because we're already down so much. Gustavo says, what's the name of the video? If you go to YouTube, obviously your favorite YouTube channel, Gustavo. The only YouTube channel that you watch, I'm just kidding, is Real Life Trading. I'll just come back to the videos. We'll just scroll back. Click on videos. It's this one right here. Incoming market crash 2 weeks ago. I feel like I did pretty good on that video. I think I got like a good, hey guys, this is what's up. So there you go. I'll post it in the chat pane, but this is what it's called. Is the market about to crash 10%? January 6, 2022. And there we go. We're starting to break down. And again, team, I realize I'm not in short with an entry there and a stop there. You would have gotten wicked out if you had to stop right above that candle, which is too bad. I'm not in short. I know the market's going to go down. I know it's going to go down lower. I'm being pretty patient. I did expect us to get that free fall, and I think we're kind of in it right now. Right, we're in it about now. So we're going to have to just let it do its thing. Lorenzo says, do you ever scalp in days like this? I do. Not on the microphone if I'm here, because in order for me to take a trade, I have to tell everyone, post a chart, post it in 4 or 5 different places, and then take the trade. So it's a little bit harder to do it if I'm live on the microphone being the actual moderator. But by myself, trading by myself, absolutely. I think it's really, really easy to make money trading, guys. That's just like my version of the world. My version of the world is look at the chart, look at the candle patterns, play what you see, get in, get out, move on, take your profit, and then go on about your day. Drew says, when is Max Payne? It's a little more to go, my man. On kind of everything. Cryptos, stocks. I don't know the exact number, but we need to hear from the beard. Oh, you're funny, dude. You're funny. So again, I know I'm drilling this point home, but I just want to make sure that we're aware why I'm not getting in short right now. Because there's only one reason. There's only one reason. The risk reward wasn't just exceptional. That's it. Wasn't exceptional. So this, if you're looking at just practicing the strategy, let's say all else equal, nothing else matters. There's no 25% sell off last week. We're not down tons. All else equal, type a 16 into the chat pane if you can see that this is the setup. Because this is what I'm really looking for. I just want to make sure you guys get it. Because we're going to be doing this all week, right? Bullish or bearish, it doesn't matter. We're going to be doing this all January. Bullish or bearish, it doesn't matter. We're doing this all of 2022. Bullish or bearish, it doesn't matter. I can help you master this pattern. I can help you master the strategy, and I will help you understand how to use this to create amazing cash flow in your life. Market absolutely sinks, great. Market rampages, great. Doesn't matter. You can make money either direction. Lorenzo says, I need a bit more practice. Of course. Ozzy002 says, I don't quite see the setup. All right, Ozzy, true or false? This is a bull candle closing below the 10 EMA on both time frames. Ozzy says true. All right, perfect. So entry below the bull candle, stop above the bull candle. Entry, stop. That's it. That's the setup. It's the first bull candle to close below the 10 EMA on both time frames, the extended and non-extended time frames. So easy short. Boom. Josh says that's the 10 EMA strategy, right? That's it. Ozzy says on the short side, exactly. No long setup at all. Yep, there was no long setup. All right. My boy Chuck wants to look at when buy calls on my stock. Gap down on a weekly chart. Ooh. Win looks all kinds of weak right now. This is a gap on a weekly chart, which is usually pretty bearish. For me, I mean, I think Win could easily pull into 77 this week. So if I was in some shares, I would buy puts, especially if it retests or pulls back from $80 into 81.63. I would buy some puts at 81.63 and let it ride down a little bit. But yeah, overall trend, pre-strategy. Ozzy says, does this strategy compare to the hammer? I was back trading the hammer strategy and it was not going so well. Hammer strategy works great, Ozzy. Just got to make sure that the trend is bullish. That's the key, man. It's all about the bullish trend. It's all about the trend. So, for example, if you get a hammer candle that is also closing above the 10 EMA in a bullish trend, it's one of my favorite strategies on earth. Like this guy right here, all day. Random stock that Wendy asked me to look at entry here, stop there, beautiful run up, gorgeous, easy, easy sell. New high, right? Look at that wave. So again, you guys are asking like, when would you have known to sell? It's a new high. Buy low, sell high. We literally made a new high relative to here. You're profitable. Get out. The game is make money. Buy down here, sell down there. Next setup would have been this trade right here. Bear candle closing above the 10. Entry here, stop there. So as far as the stock goes, CGW, Invesco S&P Global Water ETF. Has a nice double top, but generally this is just a big ETF. So if this sells off, everything's going to sell off. Or if everything sells off, this is going to sell off. For the gentleman who asked about COVID earlier, so this is the weekly chart, just to give you a perspective. We have had 4 down weeks in a row, but by this time in COVID, we were already at the bottom. Just give you a perspective, right? So COVID was 4 weeks of selling. We've already had 4 weeks of selling. Market's down 15%. Market was down 30% during that time. Chris says, can the 10 EMA work on any time frame? Yes. Julio says, can you work on any time frame? Yes. That's correct. Drew says, was COVID the fastest bear market in history? Technically, no. 1987, I think, was faster by a day or two. And I was the only person that I'm aware of that was comparing the COVID crash when it happened to 1987. Well, I can't pull that up. This is not what I'm looking for either. Oh, that's the one. Sorry, DJI. Brexit was a big crash, but that had nothing on COVID. So this was 1987 right here. Yeah, that was 1987. That was the fastest crash in recent history. So that took 3 weeks, right? COVID was 4. So 1987 took 3 weeks for it to drop 38%. COVID took 4 weeks to drop 32%. Robert Falco, good job making $1 million on those puts, dude. Hope you got some. Robert says it's going to hit 800 before the end of Q1. You were so correct on that, dude. Great job. Shopify just going to keep going. Look at this 5-minute chart. Yeah, that looks absolutely broken. So we're going to keep selling, team. The selling is not over out there. Qs are down 3%. And again, right, as far as the trend is definitely short. So don't be long. And if you're long, do it with very, very, very small size. Otherwise, either be short or wait. That's the only 2 things you can do right now. Be short or wait. Delta, and again, I know I didn't take the trades. Not a big deal. Entry there, stop there, would have worked. Coins down 15%. Nice. Wow. Coin is getting roadhoused. That's because all of its assets are in crypto, and crypto's down a bunch. I shouldn't say all of its assets, but a lot of its assets. Roblox is down as well. It's about to get to its IPO low, which there should be a little bit of buying and some like just general panicking right around 55, you would imagine. I do have a few shares of Roblox in a long-term account. I'll probably buy a few more down there. Square sinking like a stone in water. Square's down 8%. Josh is throwing up a chart for me. Okay, so let's go analyze. This is the trade that Josh took on Roblox. He's asking, what should I target? So let's go look at Josh's Roblox trade that he took and kind of analyze it together. That's the part of the trading room is you guys can do this anytime you want. If you're in a trade, you can go, hey, bro, hit me up. What do you think? So on the right is the daily chart. On the left is the 3-minute. If I zoom in here a little bit, so you can see what he was looking for is, move this over here. On Roblox, trade came up, poked its head above, came down. He shorted off of the moving averages, placed the stop above. You can see old stop. That was the high of the day. And then started rolling down, new low right here. Josh exits a quarter of his position and then starts lowering his stop. It's a great trade. So let me kind of pop in here and just look at it. So this is a 3-minute chart. So to kind of give you guys a play-by-play, Josh shorted here, stop up here, exited a quarter of his position there. And your current stop loss, I think, Josh, should be right here at 64. And just because you're a little bit of an advanced trader, what I think you could do, Josh, is get into a short collar if you want to have some fun. So a short collar is selling puts and buying calls. So look at the math just to spend a little bit of time to see if you want to maybe buy a 65 call, sell some $60 puts, and get into a short collar and just kind of keep riding it down. Because I think Roblox is going to go lower. I think they're going to go eventually into the mid 50s. So everyone's saying, why did he pick his entry? So this is just my opinion. I'm not his brain, obviously, but I can give you 2 reasons. Number one, this is a bull candle closing below the 10. So could he have shorted below that candle? Absolutely. And the trade would have worked. Secondly, my guess, what do you guys think? Is this a pretty bullish hammer? Relatively bullish. Nice lower shadow. So nice lower shadow, retesting old resistance, new support. So Josh is like, oh, okay, cool. I think it's going to go higher. If it doesn't go higher and closes below that level, people are going to be trapped. So the very next candle, stock closes below that lower shadow. Right? Closed below that wick. So if we close below that wick, all Josh did was go, okay, a lot of buyers are there. I'm going to short there. Stop loss right there. That's it. That's how you could have played on a 3-minute chart. And again, you could have gone to a smaller time frame, 2 minute, 1 minute, if you really wanted to. All right. That's pretty much essentially it on Roblox. So good trade, Josh. Well done. Well done. Wow, guys, the market's been open about an hour. Type a 9 into the chat pane. That was one of the fastest hours of your life. That flew by for me, having a blast. And again, I'm being as patient as I can going short. You guys are welcome to make fun of me, and I expect it. I'm okay for you guys to make fun of me sometimes. I want it to happen. Bethune says, can you look at Tesla? That's literally what's on my screen right this exact second. Tesla is on my screen. So let's see if we can close bearish. Because again, this purple line is some kind of moving average on some time frame right there, a big one. And this blue line is a daily moving average of some kind. So we're going to keep an eye on Tesla, see if we get a bear candle. Again, I'm moderately looking for more longs than shorts because we are down so low. Otherwise, just be patient. Because you can certainly short some things. Just be fast on the short. Apple hit the 100 simple on the daily. We're very, very close to it. You can see Apple made a new pre-market low. By the way, guys, this is like one of the easiest things in the world on Apple. New pre-market low. After a rollover like that, either buy to cover or go long. So cover your short. I mean, it's just such a clean, easy wave rotation on Apple, in my opinion. Delta doing its thing. Okay, Intel. Stafford says, what are your thoughts on Intel? They had such a really, really great bullish run up with a fantastic 10 EMA strategy. Look at all these bear candles in a row above the 10 EMA. Really, really good bull trade there. And then we're just kind of retracing. Let me make this screen a little bit bigger for us all. Intel is the choppiest, ugliest, one of the blue chip stocks in the world, right? I don't expect them to really go to zero, but I don't expect them to do anything great either. So if we're looking at Intel, if you buy it low enough, the adjusted for dividend chart at 50.78, that's the 200 simple on the weekly. You could buy a little bit there. You could buy a little bit at 48. If you buy low enough and hold long enough, you'll probably end up winning. All right. I'll look at Square Deborah in just a little bit. Just give me a few seconds. It looks like we got a bear candle on Tesla. So I am going to go long above that candle with a stop below some lows. I'm going to give it a little bit of wiggle room because we are a little volatile today. All right. So I'm going to go long here with a stop loss right there. And target's going to be 1.2 Rs. 1.2, which is right at that prior high. Okay, so this is the trade 885. New personal day trade on Tesla. 885.71 with a stop loss at 864.89. Okay. Gonna also post that in Slack. So if anyone ever decides that real life trading is a great place for you to learn and experience new amazing opportunities of growth and knowledge enrichment, you will get access to our Slack channel and all things amazing in that world. Okay. Tesla. Some quick math. $885.71, $885.71. Stop loss 864.89. Pop that bad boy in there. Boomtown. Ow. Let's go. All right, that order is in Zabroka. No clue if it works or if it triggers or not, but we will see. I will leave it open for just a little bit. If we don't get triggered in, guess who doesn't lose money? Me or you. No one loses money if we don't get triggered in. But I'm always prepared to lose on a trade if I need to. I will pause the recording and the video here for about 2 minutes as I take a quick bio break. I'll be back 2 minutes.
Hope y'all are having fun. This is Robert here. I'll fill some time while Jeremy is using the restroom. Marie says, for people who work full time, can they learn trading off of swing trades of similar speed or day trades? Is the way to go if you were to get the subscription. So yeah, it's the same thing. All candle patterns are fractal. So what we mean by that is this setup that Jeremy's showing right here. Let me see. I think I can annotate on his screen. Actually, it's not letting me annotate on his screen. But each of these candles that represents 3 minutes, these could represent daily candles as well.
All
And then you
right.
could use this on a daily time frame.
Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is. All right, just got back. Maria says, for people who work full time, can they learn trading off of swing trades with similar speed, or day trade the way to go? If I were to get the subscription, that's a great question, Maria. So if you do sign up for the subscription and you're working full time, and again, this is my just personal opinion, I think the swing room would be totally sufficient because you'll still get tons of speed. I'll show you how to practice. You'll still get access to the day trade journal. You'll still get access to the swing trade journal. You'll still get access to all of our setups. And in the swing room, I do go over day trades as well, just kind of give you an idea of everything. So from a learning experience, absolutely, you'll get everything you'll need. But if you either are retired, or B, you want to be retired, or C, you want to do this full time, I do kind of feel like learning how to day trade is important in your overall trading journey. All right, we are filled on Tesla. Josh says, got to get tools in your tool belts. Yes. All right, so we are filled on Tesla, and we'll see if it works. So now I pop over here to the Slack channel. I'll let everyone know, filled on Tesla. Now, again, team, I have no clue if this is going to work or not. Hope it does. That'd be really cool. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, I guess all is good. AMD is trying to bounce again. This is the 3-minute chart. So we waited on the bear movement. Now we'll see if any kind of bulls come in here with any kind of force. They may or may not. I don't know how powerful they're going to be. Javier says, how do you know where to place your target on Tesla? Great question. Let's go to the PDF. Trade management. Look to exit with a new high. New low, if you're bearish, around 1 to 1.4 Rs at a previous resistance, or after 5 bull candles in a row. All right, so this just depends on if you're bullish or bearish. So you have new high, or 1 to 2.14 Rs, or at a previous resistance. So if we go back to Tesla, pop back over to Tesla really quick. Just pull this bad boy up. So if we're looking at this trade setup that we did get filled on, that we are in, that we are profitable on right now, and I look at this, I use this little trading tool guy right here. That is 1.2 Rs. And it's also at a previous resistance. So it's 2 out of those things that we're looking for. What do you think about that, sexy stud? All right. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Chris says thing of beauty. Yeah. Again, I have no idea if it's going to work or not, but I'm just following the strategy. That's all I can do. That's all I can do, team. All right. So when talking about trade management, can move stops every 21 minutes. 7 says, I thought the target should be higher than that compared to the risk. Great question, 7. It is. So if this is 1 R, and this is 1.2 Rs, is 1.2 more than 1? Let's start there first. The answer is obviously yes. 1.2 is more than 1. We're all good at second grade math. Second part is, let's say you have a 46% win-loss ratio, and your average loss is 0.7 risk units, and your average win is 1.3 risk units, and you take 50 trades a month. If you do the math on that, you are very profitable, actually. Momo Mimi says, Jeremy, you don't seem to work with level 2. That is correct. I don't. Scott says, would that first target be a partial? Nope. I'm exit everything right there. 9/11/29. Exit all. What other questions you guys got? I love these questions. They're fantastic. Jose says, are you actually in this trade? That's a good question. I am. I trade over here. I'll show you guys the Thinkorswim. So here's the Thinkorswim trade. You just don't see me trade in the background, but trust me, if you saw everything I did in the background, you would, your eyes would bleed a little bit. So my risk right now is $5,000 per trade. So if I lose on this trade, I lose 5,000. If I win, I'll make a little bit more than 5,000. So if we hit this target again, if I'm not saying if, but if we do today, this would be right around a $6,000 day for me. What do you guys think? Is that pretty cool or what? It's not bad. It's not bad. Now it took a while to get there. Okay, you guys all know that. I think all of you have been through the journey with me. You've all been through the journey, so you know that it doesn't happen overnight. This took years and years of practice, a lot of work. I've outworked everyone in the game by a lot. So this is the result of just tons and tons and tons and tons of effort. Tony says, if it's going up fast, would you move your stop? Oh, Tony, great question. Let's go back to the Trade Management Journal. Rule number 12, can only move stops every 21 minutes. Bang. Colleen McGee says, does that mean you made $6,000 or you made $1,000? I haven't made any money yet, but I will make, if this trade works, $6,000 in approximately 12 minutes. Chris says for the 10 EMA is your favorite chart to 3-minute. That is correct. Gustavo says, why 21 minutes? Because you got to pick a number. Got to pick a number that I can look back at a trade, look back at trade management, look back at someone who took a trade and go, did you follow that trade or not? And they can either say yes or no. That's why. Got to pick some kind of number somewhere. 21 minutes also equals 7 3-minute candles. Uh-oh, we're getting into the math. Oh, snap. This is true. These are all true. Quick math. Now, again, team, trade hasn't worked yet. Haven't exited yet, so we'll see. Looking through everything else, Apple is still a little bit weak. Nvidia's kind of hanging out. Delta, we actually do have a setup on Delta as well. We do. We have a setup on both Delta and Tesla and AMD. Oh, well, here's what we'll do. Since this is the very, very first day of the free week, let's just let our Tesla be the one. I don't think you guys want all those trades going on at once. We'll just let Tesla do its thing for a quick hot second. Give it some time. So we've been in this trade 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. We got to wait 3 more candles before we can move up our stop. AMD is setting up though. Delta looks good. Qs and SPY are kind of hanging out. Rinko says, if Tesla reverses before 21 minutes and makes a setup for a short entry, would you take it and have both trades running? That's a good question. It's a good question. The answer is yes. I'm allowed to, but I have to do it with put options, as you know, Rinko, because you can't be long and short the same stock in the same account at the same time. So you do have to have some type of option in order to do that trade, right? You have to have either essentially puts. You got to be playing it with puts. So yeah, I can go long and short simultaneously. I very, very rarely would do that though. Tig says, Jan, I have 4 190 strike puts February for PayPal. Would you sell half of them today or would you hold because we might go lower? Do you have any shares on your PayPal, Tig, or are you just in puts? Just puts. Again, I don't know how comfortable you are with options, but here's what I would do. I would sell half and then sell 135 puts against those long puts that you have because earnings is in 2 weeks. PayPal is out of support right now. I think it's a pretty strong support. But if you're selling puts against the long puts you own, you turn that into a debit spread, doesn't require any margin and gives you more downside opportunities. And lowers the cost of your trade. D says, why not in the same account long and short? That's just an obvious, baby girl. You can't buy something that you sell. You can't sell something that you buy at the same time. You know, like if you're long 100 shares of something, you can't sell 100 shares of that same thing. You can use options. You were correct. And I mentioned that. I absolutely said you can play with options, but you need to make sure you have options, but you can't trade shares. You can't buy 100 shares and sell 100 shares simultaneously because it's going to cancel each other out. Steve, 7 says, do you use CFDs? They're not allowed in the U.S. I'm a U.S. resident. I live here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I can't trade CFDs. So the answer is no. I have traded them before, but I do not. These are great questions, team. I'm so happy that we're able to answer some. I love it. This is good. Okay. Sounds good. All right. I have another trader asking about my stop loss on Tesla. Stop loss on Tesla. How did you figure your stop loss at 864.75? I simply place it below the low of this bullish candle. There's no real science other than I could have placed it here because that would have been a lot of shares. Sorry, this is a 5-minute chart. My bad. Go back to the 3-minute. Same thing though. I just placed it below this hammer candle and this bullish candle. It could have been any update of that penny. Like the pennies don't really matter, right? So no real penny matters. So it could be 864, 85, 83, 82, 863, somewhere in this general vicinity, essentially is it. That wick on the Qs. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting, he says. Robert says that has to be an off-market order. Could be. Okay. So right now, team, just kind of hanging out, chilling and killing, being cool, seeing if the Tesla trade works. You do have 15 minutes left together. That's how much longer I'm on the microphone before I pass it off to one of the best day traders I know, one of the best money managers I know, one of my best friends. Also, just a generically fantastic, great, incredible human being. So this is the 3-minute chart that we're looking at on Tesla right now. And we did close above also this bear candle. So that is, I guess, if we're going to have good news, that's probably about as good news as you can get. Obviously, that doesn't mean the trade's going to work, but we have been in this trade now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So after the next candle, we will be able to increase our stop loss. And we're just going to leave the target alone just to see if this trade continues to work. Again, bullish trades when the overall market is bearish do take a long time. They are arduous. They are nasty. They're boring. They're hard to hold through. All of those things are accurate. I can also say I will not love a close below this candle or this candle. I don't really want that to happen either. So if we close below that candle, I do have the ability to exit early if I want to. We can only move my stop loss, but I can exit early for a gain if I need to. It is part of the strategy. We can do that. Mr. Gomez says, are you using the same stocks every day? Yes. Elvis says, can you do the 10 EMA with weekly options? Of course. Absolutely. These are great questions. Squadrini. What else you got? AMD. Doing its thing. So there are a few other setups happening right now. Apple is still pretty weak though, which the weaker Apple is, the less I want to hold Tesla super long. Delta is working. Delta's working. If you guys took Delta, this bullish trade here with that bear candle, keep an eye on that one. Q's chilling. Again, really interesting lower shadow. And then SPY. Chris says, recap Delta, please. Super easy. All right, Chris, is this a bear candle closing above the 10? Yes or no? He says, yes. Awesome. Entry stop. Boom. Done. Easy strategy. Very simple. That's it. Hard to mess this one up, team. Drew says, how low do you think Square goes? Oh, man. That's a good question. All right. How low can Square go? 83? Pretty easily. Mid 80s. I think this company is still valuable. Drew says, would you load the boat at 83? Ooh. I will buy some at 83. I will not load any boats there. If you're going to buy 100 shares or something, that's totally fine, but I wouldn't go in dramatically heavy because at this stage, man, when a chart is this wrecked, like it'll be down 71%, but I mean, it could go down 90% at that stage, I have no idea. It can keep going lower until it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Amazing. Chris says the high wave candle is bearish above the 10, but the direction of the 10 EMA is bullish. That would make it a bullish trade and vice versa. Or is it any first candle above the 10? Yes, Chris, you're correct. You're looking for a bearish candle to close above that average. Yep, exactly correct. So this is Visa. Just looking at Visa. Kind of hanging out in no man's land. Another stock that looks really damaged is Goldman Sachs. Now, I think we all know that Goldman Sachs should recover a little bit, but man, this thing is just getting absolutely slayed. Boeing getting beat up a little bit. Dave & Buster's still holding strong, kind of. We exited our FT&T swing trade. Might get back into that one. All the earnings are just days away. Earnings are right around the corner. All right, team. So again, as I mentioned earlier, bull day trades on really, really bearish days are always going to be hard. They're always going to be arduous. They're always going to be annoying. They're always going to take longer than we want them to. All that kind of good stuff. So it has been 21 minutes. And you guys are all so excited about this stop move. So here's the best news. The reason I like this is it gives us an opportunity to learn together. right? Because although we can see that the trade's not working brilliantly, right? It's not just crushing higher. Most of you probably want to put your stop right there. And trust me, I want to. I do. But here's what I will do before I move that stop. I'm going to go into other time frames and just look at the candles for just a second, just to see what they're doing. Right? Because as I mentioned, I don't really want it to close below these candles, but what it could very, very easily do, as you guys will see, this could be a double bottom or some type of triple bottom. We could break up, we could retest, and then we could bounce and trade higher. I know going long, which we are right now, on primarily bearish stocks, essentially trying to pick a bottom is very hard, chops around. Really, really, it's a struggle bus. It's a struggle fest for a while, very frequently. So let me pop in here to a 5-minute chart. Just kind of read and analyze the candles here for a second. So a 5-minute chart, you had 3 bull candles in a row. So it makes sense that we're getting a little bit of a retracement here. That again happens after 3 candles in a row pretty frequently. We do have, like I said, I feel like there's a little bit of a support resistance right about here. So again, we could retest and bounce off. Now let me pop in here to a 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart, and this is going to be a big battle. This red line, that's the 10 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. That will be a tough turkey to contend with. Not saying we can't break above it, but it's going to be a challenge. 10 EMA on the 15 is always a strong, strong little beast. So knowing that it's right above us as a good resistance, I'm going to pop back into the 3-minute chart. I'm going to take my stop loss. And here's how I'm going to move it. I'm going to put it right here. New stop loss, 870.04. And I'm going to tell the market, I need Tesla to make a higher high in the next 7 minutes. Otherwise, I will exit for a small gain. Now, why 7 minutes? That's going to be the question you guys are going to ask next. So I go off the mic in 7 minutes. So I'm just going to look to take a small profit with each and every one of you guys if I'm able to. So a new high would be it goes above here. If it can go above there, I'll continue to hold. That's what I need it to do in the next 6 minutes now. If it can't, I probably would just take a profit so that we can be profitable together. And I'll give the microphone over to one of my best friends and let him manage the trade or manage another trade with you guys. Update on Tesla. Okay, so feel free to move your stop to 870.04. So that way, if something weird does happen, we do lose on this trade, at least we lose less than 1 risk unit. Today's the 24th. Tesla, 885.71. 64.89. TMA. So we're there. Okay. And that's it. So we got 5 more minutes, Tesla. Make a new high. Otherwise, I'll just exit for a small gain, go off the mic, and hang out with you guys on social media and other places. So A&D is slowly trying to do its thing. Roblox slowly trying to do its thing. Nvidia. Again, this is all the 3-minute chart. Nvidia trying to hang out. Apple made a new low of the day. Maybe a nice little trap there. Delta, really, really good 10 EMA trade on Delta. Type of 6, if you traded that, do my non-newbie day traders get on that one? All right, so my boy Justin's in. Very cool. A good example of not getting wicked out by moving stop too soon is AMD. All right, so Cindy wants me to pull up AMD. Yep, absolutely. So here's your bear candle closing above the 10 right there. So if your entry was here, stop loss, I don't know, probably down here somewhere. Yep. If you would have just slammed your stop, you would have gotten wicked out. So now you can put your stop loss right there, still lose small and have a really good pivot. Chris says, what is the pattern day trader rule? That means if you have less than $25,000 in your account and you take more than 3 trades, you are breaking some dumbass law. That's pretty much it. So you don't want to break it or they will freeze your account. So if you have less than $25,000, don't take more than 3 trades in, was it 5 days? Now, keep in mind that is a U.S. law. It's a really stupid U.S. law. So if you're in Canada or whatever, you're okay. Bob says it's a rolling 5 days. That is correct. Rolling 5 days. Daniel says, I'm in Romania and I still have my account frozen. That sucks. I didn't think Romania had any laws. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. It was a stupid joke. I'm not entirely sure on that one, Daniel. I mean, I don't know if you are you a U.S. citizen and you're in the U.S. but you're in Romania right now. I'm not entirely sure of that situation, but if you live in the U.S. or you have a U.S. brokerage, even if you're in a different part of the world, you can still get a little hand slap. Adam says closing a position opened before the PDT is counted as a trade. Correct. So here's the small story short is if you have $25,000 or less, make sure you study that rule, please. It does matter. It definitely matters. Drew says does not apply to cash accounts. That is correct, but you still have a 2-day settlement rule in a cash account, Drew. And if you trade with unsettled cash, your trade will still get, and your account can still get frozen. So cash still has a 2-day settlement rule. You still need to wait 2 days to trade with unsettled cash. If you do that, then yeah, same problem. Plus, it's really hard to get some actual day trade size with a cash account. All right. So Tesla hanging out. We do have a little bit of compression going on, but I got essentially 50 seconds left for it to pop and do something intriguing. Otherwise, I'm going to take a very, very, very small win on this trade. I mean, a win's better than a loss. And then I'll let Robert track down something else. What's really interesting is my more advanced traders, you'll probably know that you got a little bit of higher lows here. This is a nice 4-candle compression. So if we do trade sideways for a little bit longer and get a pop above there, we should have a nice little move. AMD is kind of hanging out. Roblox. So you got a bear candle that did close above on Roblox. So Roblox is good to go. Delta has already triggered. Apple in the queues. All right, team. That's my time for the day. But here's the good news. We still have tons of time left. I appreciate you. I will be here tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, and most likely Friday in the morning. But don't leave. One of the best day traders on earth, a full-time trader, a liquid millionaire, one of my best friends, a real estate investor, and a very intelligent, cerebral pyromaniac is about to take the microphone. So, Robert Falco, it's all yours.
Thank you, sir.